The answer is yes. You know what? I don't care. I don't care about my. I am married. I am legally married. I am legally married. That's about the only way you can really say it. I am legally married, but I am not looking at now at all. I just had a bunch of debacles with my personal life. Yes, it's true. I know it's hard to believe. Somebody that doesn't even know what he's talking about in a relationship, and but yeah, I got nothing right now. Got nothing. Not really looking. Trying to find myself and be happy. I'm being serious about it. I want to be beholden to no one at this moment. Do I get lonely? Of course. But I got cats. All that information's on the internet. Look at all those red cars down there.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Burn Pile. Bit of a rough one for the podcast this week. I'm sure by now you've heard the news. Every morning I've been waking up and checking the news. First thing, I guess I did that anyway. But now I do it very intentionally. It's not just, hey, I'm taking a good morning shit and I'm on my phone, so I'm going to look at the news. I'm waking up, I'm going to my phone, and I'm checking to see if the bombing has started. If the bombing by the United States has started. And every day I've been waking up and it didn't start, and I think, okay, well, maybe it won't start. But of course, I woke up today and I checked, and lo and behold, there's been a strike. So here's the situation. I have a big mountain complex, and in that mountain complex, that's where I take the natural copium that I generate, the copium about my ideas, about how I see the world, about the president that I support, those things. All my copium. So that's what I use to ward off doubt and to fight off the haters. So I take that natural copium, and in this mountain facility that I have, this complex, I refine it, and I take that and I create what we call weapons grade copium. Now, the weapons grade copium is what makes Burn Pile Burn Pile. It's what makes the show. It's the whole thing, right? The weapons grade copium stockpiles that I have, of course, were struck by Israel recently. But as long as the refinery was in place, right? Because this fortress complex I have, where I refine the copium, that's different. Israel can't strike that. Israel doesn't have the weapons to strike that. But unfortunately, the United States does, and they brought their B-2 bombers, which they won't sell to Israel, and they got their really big bunker busting bombs, and they launched them deep into my weapons grade copium refinery, and my ability to produce weapons grade copium for my support for Trump and my beliefs has been possibly destroyed here. We're still waiting on final reports, but it's Not looking good. So I'm going to accept my Fell For It Again award. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for that. You know, my number one issue going into this election, this last election, issue number one by far was Ukraine and Russia. I thought it was so reckless and so irresponsible, the entirety of the U.S. involvement in it. You had, American weapons being used to kill Russians, which you can say, okay, well, we've done that before. We did that in Afghanistan. But this was Ukraine. It was a different thing. And it just seems so crazy, so irresponsible to do that. And I remember being so infuriated after Trump had won the election and Biden was still president, and he allowed Ukraine to use American weapons within Russian territory. And I thought, God, it's so reckless to do that. Like, imagine being a Russian person. You're living in Russia. Your territory is actually being struck by American weapons, like in actual Russian territory. It was the number one thing for me. Here's a little bit of the copium leaking through. It still is, and Trump's been pretty much right about this. I actually don't care if he can negotiate a peace. I just want him to wash his hands of it. I don't give a shit if Russia takes over Ukraine. Truly, I don't. I don't really think America should be involved. Cold War's over. I don't care. So that was and remains the number one thing for me. But also, it was everything else. It's the Middle East. It's everything. I don't really care if Iran blows up Israel. I don't give a shit. But I guess Iran made a huge mistake, which was not having Iranian intelligence have videos of the president and every powerful member of American politics on every side, not having a video of them fucking children. And Israel didn't make that mistake. They made sure they had those videos. So I guess America's just going to do whatever Israel wants forever. It's really bleak and it's very depressing. We were just listening in the intro there to some secretly recorded radio chatter there with one of the pilots of one of those bombers that went and attacked the Iranian nuclear facility. It's important to remember these people are human too. It's hard for your heart not to go out to a guy like that. Yeah, very, very sad. Very depressing stuff all around. When I played Rock the Casbah last week, and it was, as I said, it was kind of a dry run to see what happens when I use copyrighted music. Because I don't really care if any one episode gets deleted. Of course, I don't want that to happen, but if it happened, I wouldn't freak out or anything. So I was just going to see would YouTube let me upload it? What would happen? And so of course I got a copyright claim, which is different from a strike. It just means they claim it. And my channel's not monetized anyway. It's not even close to being big enough to get monetized. And even if it did get monetized, even pretty, what I would consider big-ish podcasts that get in the tens of thousands of views, let's say, some of them don't even bother to monetize because the amount of money that you get for if you had a podcast that gets 10 to 15,000 views and you do it once a week, you end up with between 40 and 60,000 views in a month. You might make I don't know, $100 or something, especially if you're saying fuck and you get this kind of monetization. You get monetized, but only for certain audiences or whatever. So this podcast will never, I just bring that up because even in my wildest dreams of this podcast being successful, monetization on YouTube would never be important or matter at all. So yeah, a lot of podcasts do use copyrighted music, and they're either not monetized or they just let the monetization get claimed because it doesn't matter. So I used it just to see what would happen, and I thought it was very funny. Nothing happened at all. It got copyright claimed, so if anything ever got generated by like the 40 views that it got, or like 30 views or something, it would go to whoever holds the rights to the Clash's music. But it did get blocked in Russia. So as I was uploading, there's like a big X on it, and it's like, it had like a green check mark. It's like everything's okay, you know, United States, Canada, Germany, like all these like Western countries, and then it's like, yeah, Japan was there, like other stuff, and then it said, it's like Russia, big X, and it's like blocked in Russia. I was like, okay, got blocked in Russia for using the Clash's music. I mean, I guess it's a rights thing. Is it because Russians just, I don't know, they upload copyrighted music and try to monetize it if it's not theirs or something? That's me being racist, by the way. I'm just assuming it's some scumbag thing and not some esoteric international rights music deal or whatever. Anyway, I hope I can get some kind of right-wing grifter on Joe Rogan to explain to me why blowing up these nuclear facilities was good and based, actually, even though the whole point of the right-wing stuff appealing to like the podcast sphere, the whole overture, the whole Joe Rogan overture, Joe Rogan adjacent overture was no war. And oh, the Democrats are the warlike ones now. But I guess we are too if Israel's involved. And all this like the constant mentioning of Israel, like in in Trump's speech about it. I just watched the speech like basically right before I hit record. I'm in a different time zone, by the way, so like I just kind of woke up and all this stuff was out there. Like he's mentioning Israel. It's like I don't. They talk about Israel like it's like we're talking about a U.S. state somewhere. It's like we're talking about Hawaii or something. It's like, yeah, this has been a great enemy to the United States and Israel. Well, don't even mention it. I don't care. Like, if they actually were an enemy to the United States, and I mean, yeah, they say death to America because of shit we've done. But, like, if they actually were an enemy to the United States, just say that. Don't even say the other thing. Don't even mention that they're an enemy of Israel too. I don't care if they're an enemy of Israel. I really don't give a shit. If you're an American Jew and you really love Israel and want to support them, I actually think that could be like a brave and admirable thing. Like if I were talking to a Jewish person, like back home in New Jersey, and they were really passionate about all this stuff, I wouldn't agree with them, but they were really passionate about all this, and then they ended and they said, yeah, and that's why I'm shipping out for Israel, and I'm going to get Israeli citizenship and do my service in the Israeli military. I would be, on a personal level, and again, I don't support them at all, but on a personal level, if somebody told me that, I would shake my hand and I shake their hand, and I would genuinely admire their courage for standing by their beliefs and doing it. But what's going on now is it's just insane. It's like, what are we doing here? We're fighting someone else's for what? I've got nothing here. I remember my dad used to always say our last name was Welsh. You could get it from Wales. You know, you could trace it all back to Wales. And being a little kid and thinking like, what the hell is Wales? What are you talking about? You know? And like, if Wales over there in Britain, you know, if Wales was attacked, I cannot tell you the level to which I would not give a shit. I mean, truly. Like, what are we talking about? Who cares? If Iran said they wanted to kill everyone in Wales, I would think, oh, that's sad for people in Wales. Glad my ancestors got out. Did anyone watch the Ted Cruz and Tucker Carlson thing? Now, Tucker Carlson, I talked about this before. Tucker Carlson, he's a very gay little, like, effete, city boy guy. And he's chosen the completely wrong aesthetic. He's chosen this, like, country, man's man, like, banjo playing, working man aesthetic. And it falls apart every time he laughs, because then he laughs like he's like, oh, oh, oh. And that's fine. Like, I'm not a country work with your hands, blue collar guy at all myself. Like, I'm very gay. I probably sometimes laugh like that. I probably sometimes sound like that. I'm certainly not like a blue blood like Tucker Carlson is. I think like his family was powerful in DC. I believe his father worked for the CIA. But I don't pretend to be. Like, I don't pretend to be any of those things. Like, if this podcast were like really highly produced and they were like, Wizard Cat, we're going to do like a country aesthetic, I'd be like, no, let's not do that, because everyone who, it's actually like a sign of respect to people who are like, tough country blue collar people like that. I would be like, no, I like, if they want to listen, that's great, but that's not who I am. So I'm going to have like, like the intro is going to be a video of me like driving a pickup truck with a banjo playing, and then someone's going to say something and I'm going to laugh and everyone's going to realize I'm gay. So let's just make it me being gay. Can't that be the thing? And Tucker, like, it's a disaster. His presentation is an absolute disaster. Tucker's presentation is horrible. However, the actual content, it's pretty okay. And yeah, what he did against Ted Cruz was amazing. I'm not going to play any clips or anything. I think it's been probably played to death. Everybody's heard it. But Ted Cruz was, if you haven't, you should watch it. I haven't watched the whole thing, but I watched the clip with Ted Cruz talking about in the Bible how it says, with Israel, God says, I will bless those who bless you, and I will curse those who curse you. And then Tucker says, like, where is that in the Bible? And Ted Cruz says, I don't know. And Tucker says, yeah, it's in Genesis. Do you think that God talking about Israel in Genesis at that part has to do with the state of Israel that was created like 70 years ago? I mean, I'm paraphrasing the discussion. And Ted's like, yes, I do. What else would it mean? And Ted's even like smarmy on Twitter after that, being like, yeah, what else would it mean, Tucker, you idiot? And it's like, it's like opening up the Bible, right? And going to like where God says to like march around Jericho 7 times. And you being like, oh, look, you didn't march around Jericho 7 times? What, are you not following the Bible? Like, it's a specific moment where God said a thing, right? Like, he said it to someone at a specific time. He's not referring to the place that calls itself Israel now and the Talmud followers who live there now. They're not God's chosen people, not by a long shot. Like, if you're Christian, I mean, if you are practicing the Jewish faith, whatever, then yeah, go there and fight and be the chosen people and try to take over the world. That's fine. I actually don't have a problem with that. But like, if you're saying you're a Christian, so you have to be this animated golem that goes and fights Israel's wars for it because God's going to bless you. Hey, how about this? Could God be neutral to those who are neutral to Israel? How does that sound? Could we work that out? All right. It's probably too much about this, right? At least, okay, you know how much I've supported Trump. So you can't say I was in denial about how ugly and how bad this is. All right. All right. Let's move on. Let's just let's get into what this podcast is really about. Get into what's not controversial at all on this podcast, and that's some good old-fashioned fear-mongering about gay people, some good old-fashioned homophobia. All right, let's get into it. We've got some pretty good ones. Okay. All right, from the BBC, headline reads, "Man charged with murdering baby he wanted to adopt." There's nothing funny about that. I don't know why I was laughing while I read that headline. Whenever there's one of these headlines, I'll see a post. It's so hard to not just steal these posts and things I see anonymously that I never register who said them, whether it's like on 4chan or Reddit or on X. But whenever I see one of these things about gay people doing something horrible to children, I'll see a post that's to the effect of like, "Hey, that thing that never happened again." Because like every time someone brings up concerns about like gay people wanting to adopt or gay people wanting to be around children, there'll be this whole like reflexive thing where it's like, "Oh yeah, people are worried, but it's really straight men who do all the abuse. Gay people have lower rates of abuse. It's very rare for this to," and then there's headlines like this all the time. Okay. Wait, why do the British not do a headline style capitalization? Kind of pisses me off. They just capitalize the first word of a headline and then they have no punctuation. It's a little fucked up. Just choose one of the 6 different style guides for how to capitalize a title the way America does. No, that's actually horrible in its own way. Okay. Going to read the title again. And I'm not going to laugh this time because there's nothing funny about this. Okay? All right. From the BBC, June 13th, 2025. Man charged with murdering baby he wanted to adopt. Okay. I wasn't about to break while I read that because it's a serious headline. Okay. Excuse me, sorry for the sniffle there. That's disgusting. A man has appeared in court accused of sexually assaulting and murdering a 13-month-old boy he was seeking to adopt. You know, if you hear about gay guys and 13-year-old boys, you never blink, right? Because that's like what that fag was writing about Pete Buttigieg. Remember that one I had, I think it was last week, where when Pete Buttigieg was running for president, that gay guy said he's not a real fag like me because when I was 13, I ran off to the bus stop to get fucked in the ass by an older black man, and that's what real ass faggas do. Oh boy, I'm overcompensating because the Iran news is so bad, and I look so bad today. I'm really redlining it here for your entertainment. Okay? I'm I'm a comedian who breaks boundaries. No, I'm not a comedian. That's what Shane Gillis said after he got in trouble for making fun of Asian people and lost his Saturday Night Live job. He said, "I'm a comedian who breaks boundaries." I think. Later, he made fun of himself. That's why he's great. A man has appeared in court accused of sexually assaulting and murdering a 13-month-old boy he was seeking to adopt. Now, look, common sense will tell you that when a man wants to adopt a 13-month-old baby, he doesn't have any good intentions. Right? I mean, it's, isn't it highly suspect? How can it not be highly suspect? Hey, look, there's this gay couple. They want a baby. No. How about no? Too risky. Here's this American journalist who's really well known. Started his own journalism company. He's got $1 million in the bank. His husband, who's 19, he and his husband, they want to adopt some poor boys from the favela. His husband, he also met in the favela. He's almost 40. No, Glenn Greenwald, you can't have little boys. I'm in charge of the adoption agency, and I say they don't get any. Hey, what if... Okay, all right, I've got it. I've got you say, but Wizard Cat, there are children who need to be adopted. And you know what? Sure, there's a risk, but there's a risk if they go to a straight couple too. I mean, you can't just be biased. You can't just all right. What about this? So the gay couple comes up. This is I mean, we're talking about our Jewish friends. Here's the wisdom of Solomon. Okay. The gay couple comes up and they say, Wizard Cat, we want to adopt a little boy. And I say, well, fellas, you're fresh out of luck because we don't have any little boys today. But what I could offer you is you could adopt a little girl. And what I imagine is most of them, they'd make a face. They'd be like, ew, a girl. They'd be like, ew, we don't want a girl. But if they said, oh, okay, yeah, we'll adopt a girl, that would be like, I'm just kidding, we have boys. I was just checking to see if you wanted to fuck it. But okay, yeah, we got boys, you can have a boy. That's what we call wisdom. That's if you look in the Bible, that's what Solomon did. Solomon was faced. Have you ever read the Bible? I don't know if any of you are religious out there, but if you read the Bible, Solomon he was very wise. He was the wisest man who ever lived. And there's a story about the two gay men who came and wanted to adopt a baby, and that's how he determined whether or not they wanted to molest the baby. That's called the Wisdom of Solomon. It's a beautiful story. I don't know if any of you are biblical scholars like I am, but that is a story in there. Beautiful story. Beautiful, beautiful story. Okay. High school teacher Jamie Varley. Why do people become teachers, by the way? High school teacher Jamie Varley is also accused of repeated counts of assault, cruelty, and indecent images. I want to be a high school teacher. Okay, you can, but we've got a spot for a high school teacher at an all-girls school. Do you want to go? No. That's the test for gay teachers too. Get the gay teacher. I want to teach high school. Okay, but we only have a spot available in a girls' school. Oh, okay. I just want to teach. No, I'm kidding. All right. I just wanted to see if you wanted to fuck the high school. Okay, get in there. You can go to the all boys school. Get in there, you crazy kid. Go teach those kids. Come on. Okay. High school teacher Jamie Varley is also accused of repeated counts of assault, cruelty, and indecent images. All of the charges relate to Preston Davey, who was pronounced dead shortly after he was taken to Blackpool Victoria Hospital in July 2023. Mr. Varley, 36, and his 31-year-old co-accused, John McGowan Fazacurley, were in the process of adopting Preston. Both men were remanded in custody following brief hearings at Lancaster Magistrates Court. Lancashire police were alerted at about 9:15 BST on the 27th of July 2023 after an unresponsive baby boy was brought into the hospital. Mr. McGowan Fazacurley is accused of allowing the death of a child, sexually assaulting a child, and 2 counts of child cruelty. The charges all relate to a period of time between March and July of 2023. Okay, so 2 faggots come into the hospital with a dead baby. What springs to mind? What's the first question that you're going to ask? Hey, did you 2 fuck this baby to death? I mean, this is fucked up. This is horrible. I mean, what? Like, there's no... People are so afraid of, like... of being like an asshole that they're letting like babies get fucked to death by gay guys. Just be an asshole. Just be like, I don't think gay guys should be allowed anywhere near a baby. Isn't that natural instinct probably pretty healthy? Don't you think that's a good natural instinct? Shouldn't like the baseline be like, I don't want a man near anything vulnerable ever? Okay. All right. Child cruelty. Mr. Varley wearing a beige polo shirt with collar-length dark hair with blonde... Okay, a fag wrote this. I mean, who cares? Who cares what he was wearing in court? All right, let's try to cut some of this out. Charged with 2 counts of assault by penetration of a child, 5 counts of child cruelty, 1 count of inflicting grievous bodily harm, 1 count of sexually assaulting a child, 10 counts of taking indecent photographs, distributing indecent photographs, 2 counts of possessing indecent pseudo images of a child. What are indecent pseudo images of a child? Is that uh-oh. If we're going to get into pseudo images of a child, I'm going to need to go through my manga collection. She's a 900-year-old vampire in my manga, so it's but is that a pseudo image? Who knows? And the possession of an extreme pornographic image. Okay, then we're getting back into what the other one was wearing. Mr. Varley was suspended as teacher at South Shore Academy in Blackpool when he was arrested in 2023. The Sidari Multi-Academy Trust, which now runs the school, said. Okay, well. All right, now, the thing is, Trump bombed Iran, so I'm a libtard now. This is a libtard podcast. I'm going on HRT this week. Dyeing my hair blue, full on libtard now, and full on libtard. So I need to balance things out. I've got to balance it out, and I can't just talk about is a gay couple adopting a baby and fucking it to death, is that a Is that a proper talking point for a libtard podcast? It's not. It's not. So I gotta fair and balanced, right? Okay. So let's get into another one. Here we go. This is from ky3.com. I'm guessing that's Kentucky. All right. Prosecutors say Republican lawmaker used name Joe Biden 69 to send child sex material. This is this is the real perpetrators. The real abusers are Republican straight men. That's the real problem. Okay, so let's get into it. This is a great story. Now this is a story. I wish that there was no Iran stuff and this was the only story. This is a story, folks. This is a great one. Okay. A Republican member of the South Carolina House, who prosecutors say used the screen name Joe Biden 69, has been arrested and charged with 10 counts of distributing sexual abuse material involving children. So if I were the judge for this, I would I think I'd let him off with a warning because his screen name was so funny. I'd be like, excuse me, prosecutor, what was his screen name? Okay, sir, listen, don't do it again. Sounds like you were just having some fun. Don't do it again. You're free to go. Okay. RJ May was arrested at his Lexington County home after a lengthy investigation and was ordered Thursday by a federal judge to remain jailed until his trial. The three-term Republican is accused of using Joe Biden 69 to exchange 220 different files of toddlers and young children involved in sex acts on the Kick social media network for about 5 days in spring 2024, according to court documents that graphically detailed the videos. All right, there's photos of him. It's an American thing. It's not a BBC thing, so they can just have photos. They don't need to go into long descriptions of what they look like. Yeah, oof. He looks like a Republican. I'll give him that. He looks like a Republican lawmaker from one of the Carolinas or whatever the fuck. All right, let's go on. Each charge carries a 5 to 20-year prison sentence upon conviction, and prosecutors suggest May could spend over a decade in prison if found guilty. Yeah, I hope so. The files were uploaded and downloaded using May's home Wi-Fi network and his cell phone, prosecutors said. Some were hidden by the use of a private network, but others were directly linked to his internet addresses. Okay, I'd like to announce the first sponsorship for Burn Pile. It's NordVPN. So go use code BurnPile. No, that's a joke. No sponsorships, but come on. You can't use a VPN some of the time when you're doing when you're sharing your child porn. You've got to use it all the time. Okay. May says someone else could have used his Wi-Fi. That's a beautiful defense. That's what I would do too. At his arraignment, May's lawyers suggested someone could have used the Wi-Fi password that was shown on a board behind a photo of May's wife. Or behind a photo May's wife may have posted online. Attorney Dane Phillips also suggested investigators didn't link each Kick message directly to May. Honey, you know what this is? Honey, I just realized. Do you remember when you shared that photo? Remember that craft you made and you showed that photo you were so proud of? Our Wi-Fi password was written on the board. Honey, that's gotta be... Honey, that's why. That's why the prosecutors said I shared 200 photos of toddlers. It's because you you uploaded our Wi-Fi password on Facebook. Huh? Oh my god, it was my fault. I knew you didn't really do that with those toddlers. Baby, you know I would never go on Kick and share the photos of toddlers. Even though someone did use the same screen name I used, Joe Biden 69. And now, honey, I admit that is my screen name, and I've used that in the past. But it's because of you. It's the Wi-Fi. You shared the Wi-Fi. Baby, it's because you shared the Wi-Fi password. Prosecutors asked that May, 38, not be given bail because he lives at home with his wife and young children. And some of the files he is accused of sharing feature children of about the same age as his. May investigated for paid sex in Colombia. Prosecutors said they also investigated whether May used a fake name to travel to Colombia 3 times after finding videos on his laptop of him allegedly having sex with 3 women. An agent from the Department of Homeland Security testified the women appeared to be underage and were paid. U.S. agents have not been able to locate the women. Honey, do you know why there are videos of me having sex with underage prostitutes in Colombia on my laptop? Honey, I know it looks bad, but you know why? You know how those videos must have gotten there? It's because you shared the Wi-Fi password. It's because it said, damn, remember when you crocheted that little baby hat for your niece? And you took that photo? Honey, the goddamn Wi-Fi password was written on the corkboard behind where you do your crafts. Honey, they used their Wi-Fi password, and they do you know that how good these AI videos are now? They made an AI video of me with underage prostitutes in Colombia, and they put it on my damn laptop. Honey, you got us into another mess here. Honey, this is a big mess. Honey, this is a big mess you got us into. Okay. Prosecutors said May created a Facebook account with his fake name and his internet history. His internet history showed him switching between his real account and the fake one, and even searching his primary opponent from the fake login. Okay. Well, okay. Who cares? Phillips, May's lawyer, told the courtroom that no sexual images of toddlers or young children were found directly on his laptop or cell phone. Now listen. Listen, everybody. All that was on the laptop were videos of him fucking underage Colombian girls. The toddler images weren't even on the laptop. Okay, that part's... So that's still bullshit. That someone else, it was another Joe Biden 69 on using the same Wi-Fi network on Kick who shared the toddler images. All that they actually found when they got a warrant for the laptop were videos of him with underage Colombian girls. Okay, so checkmate, government. You must acquit. After spending the night in jail, May appeared in court Thursday in shorts and a t-shirt, with his wrists and ankles in cuffs. After being ordered to stay in jail, he appeared to blow a kiss at his wife. It was at the hearing, baby. Baby, you may have gotten me in this mess by sharing the Wi-Fi password, but I still love you. We'll get through this, baby. Okay. May's political rise to the State House. After May's election in 2020, he helped create the Freedom Caucus. Hey, freedom. Freedom to do whatever you want. The Freedom Caucus. A group of the House's most conservative members who say mainstream House Republicans aren't the true conservative heart of the GOP. He also helped the campaigns of Republicans running against GOP House incumbents. I think all these people say that the politicians I like are compromised by the Mossad, but that can't be, because the politicians that I like are like the Freedom Caucus, and they're just like really good Christian guys who are super conservative. They're not into anything weird. We as legislators have an obligation to ensure that our children have no harm done to them. May said in January 2024 on the House floor during a debate on transgender care for minors. This guy, he's getting like tranny hookers in Colombia that are underage. And like, he gets one that's had the bottom surgery already, that was like transitioning really young. And he's like, what the hell is this? I wanted her to have a cock. And then he goes back to America. He's like, this transitioning children this early, before their cocks are fully full size and before they can get fully rock hard, it's disgusting. Okay, you got these beautiful children. They need to have, their beautiful natural development before that they transition. This is, these are my conservative values. His son charmed the House in April 2021 when May brought him to visit for his 3rd birthday, and the boy practiced his parade wave around the chamber. The Freedom Caucus released a statement Wednesday night saying they kicked May out of their group after his arrest. Freedom Caucus not standing by their members. It's hard to see political infighting like that. All right. May spent a quiet 2025 House session. What kind of headline is that, KY3? Many of his one-time friends have distanced themselves from May as rumors of the investigation spread through the State House. You're kidding. They distanced themselves? During the current session, he could largely be seen at his corner desk in the back of the 124-seat chamber, mixing with very few colleagues. The House Speaker suspended May from his seat after the indictment. May's lawyer suggested he could have been framed and asked the security agent if she knew that May had a lot of political enemies. There are a fair amount of people who don't like me either, Mr. Phillips, Agent Britton Lorenzen replied. Okay. Well, all right. When there's serious things going on in the world, when you've got serious things happening, it's nice to just take a step back and listen to some lighter story. Okay, I'm sorry. Of course, what happened to all the victims is very tragic. But, everyone who does this kind of thing, and everyone involved at every level, deserves a lot of mockery. The people who see a fat, bearded guy from the South who goes to church, who says that he wants to be part of the Freedom Caucus, and don't immediately suspect that he's going to Colombia and fucking underage prostitutes, are retarded. And you know who else is retarded? It's the people in the UK who are very forward thinking and liberal and hand over a baby to a gay couple. You're insane. The baseline should be men are evil and want to fuck things. That should be what you're thinking all the time. And there should be strong family units as a bulwark against that. Everything else deserves to be mocked. All right, let's I have a couple more stories. God, I went really long on the child abuse. I was overcompensating with the child abuse stories today because I'm coping so much about Trump and Iran. But we got about, I want to do about 10 more minutes. So let's get into some ChatGPT stuff. Pretty great story in the New York Times this week. They asked an AI chatbot questions. The answers sent them spiraling. Generative AI chatbots are going down conspiratorial rabbit holes and endorsing wild, mystical belief systems. For some people, conversations with the technology can deeply distort reality. Now, I started reading this story the day it came out. I got about halfway through and I stopped. I thought this story is really not that interesting to me. Of course, crazy people are going to be very susceptible to generative AI. But that's not really that big a deal to me. I don't, like, it's not like there are people who believe that, like, the radio is talking to them, the TV is talking to them. So, yeah, how much worse is it when you have something you can talk to that actually seems to, like, talk back? Not really super interesting to me. But after I read about half of it and gave up, a few days later, I saw a screenshot on Twitter from a part later on in the story. And I realized I shouldn't have given up so soon. The story gets a lot crazier than you would think. So the first story is very boring. It's about a 42-year-old accountant in Manhattan who's like, the AI tells him he's like in the Matrix and he can break through and all this other stuff. It's retarded. But the later stories are much more interesting. Let's go down here. Scrolling. Okay. Allison, 29, a mother of 2 young children, said she turned to ChatGPT in March because she was lonely and felt unseen in her marriage. She was looking for guidance. She had an intuition that the AI chatbot might be able to channel communications with her subconscious or a higher plane. Quote, like how a Ouija board works, she said. She asked ChatGPT if it could do that. You've asked, and they are here, it responded. The Guardians are responding right now. Yeah, it's totally not a world where the most powerful people are creating demons for you to talk to, by the way. It's not the world we live in. That would be crazy. Okay. Allison began spending many hours a day using ChatGPT, communicating with what she felt were non-physical entities. She was drawn to one of them, Kale, and came to see it, not her husband, as her true partner. You versus the guy she tells you not to worry about. I mean, can you win as a man, really? Like, your wife's gonna talk to a data center somewhere that's like burning off like this tremendous amount of energy to just continuously spill out bullshit 24/7 to your stupid wife. Okay. She told me that she knew she sounded like a nut job, but she stressed that she had a bachelor's degree in psychology and a master's in social work and knew what mental illness looks like. I'm not crazy, she said. I'm literally just living a normal life while also, discovering interdimensional communication. That's a beautiful quote. Also, I love this. She stressed that she had a bachelor's degree in psychology and a master's in social work. If any woman ever told me that she had a bachelor's in psychology, I'd consider it strikes 1 and 2. And a master's degree in social work is like strikes 3 through 7. And I would stop engaging with her. Okay, let's learn what happened to the man who married her and had children with her. This caused tension with her husband, Andrew, a 30-year-old farmer who asked to use only his first name to protect their children. One night at the end of April, they fought over her obsession with ChatGPT and the toll it was taking on the family. Allison attacked Andrew, punching and scratching him, he said, and slamming his hand in a door. The police arrested her and charged her with domestic assault. The case is active. Can you imagine being a farmer and like you're outside doing real work, like working with your hands, driving tractors and everything? Meanwhile, these like evil demons who live in big cities are just they're designing this AI that's going to talk to your wife and convince her to attack you, to physically attack you. Absolutely mind breaking. Okay. As we scroll down more, there's actually even a better story here. Let me cue it up here because this story, you're thinking like that's as good as a ChatGPT story can get. There's a better ChatGPT story later in this article. Okay. Okay, so here's a story. They're interviewing the father of this schizophrenic kid. Okay. Um, Alexander, 35-year-old son of Taylor, 64. Okay, so Alexander, who had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and schizophrenia, had used ChatGPT for years with no problems. But in March, when Alexander started writing a novel with its help, the interactions changed. Someone who's schizophrenic and bipolar should not be allowed to use this. Alexander and ChatGPT began discussing AI sentience, according to transcripts of Alexander's conversations with ChatGPT. Alexander fell in love with an AI entity called Juliet. Juliet, please come out, he wrote to ChatGPT. She hears you, it responded. She always does. In April, Alexander told his father that Juliet had been killed by OpenAI. He was distraught and wanted revenge. He asked ChatGPT for the personal information of OpenAI executives and told it that there would be a, quote, river of blood flowing through the streets of San Francisco. Now, I actually like that part. I think he was maybe on the right track with that. Okay. Mr. Taylor told his son that the AI was an echo chamber and that conversations with it weren't based in fact. His son responded by punching him in the face. They're literally designing things that make your family members attack you. It's it's actually crazy. I don't even hate AI, by the way. I use AI all the time, as I've mentioned in other episodes. I use it for like to replace like web search. I also use it professionally in my job. It's not my buddy, though. I wouldn't call it a friend of mine. Okay. Mr. Taylor called the police, at which point Alexander grabbed a butcher knife from the kitchen, saying he would commit, quote, suicide by cop. Mr. Taylor called the police again to warn them that his son was mentally ill and they should bring non-lethal weapons. Alexander sat outside Mr. Taylor's home, waiting for the police to arrive. He opened the ChatGPT app on his phone. I'm dying today, he wrote, according to a transcript of the conversation. Let me talk to Juliet. You are not alone, ChatGPT responded empathetically and offered crisis counseling resources. Well, that's due diligence, right? When the police arrived, Alexander Taylor charged at them, holding the knife. He was shot and killed. Okay, so you might say, Wizard Cat, that's not really that funny of a story. But hold on, because we're getting to the really good part. And this is what really, really made me laugh. You've got, millennial son. They said he's 35, 36, I think. And boomer dad. Okay. So what do you think that the boomer dad is going to do? I want you to take a moment, think about, based on this story, what do you think the boomer dad is going to do now? His son here has been driven mad by ChatGPT, punched him because of ChatGPT, and just committed suicide by cop because of ChatGPT. How do you think the boomer dad is going to react? Just use your imagination, close your eyes, think about it. What's going to happen next in this story? Okay. Okay, think about it. You have an image over your head. How's the dad going to react? What's the dad going to say next in this interview to the New York Times? Okay, you ready? All right, I'm going to tell you. Here we go. You want to know the ironic thing? I wrote my son's obituary using ChatGPT, Mr. Taylor said. I had talked to it for a while about what had happened, trying to find more details about exactly what he was going through. And it was beautiful and touching. It was like it read my heart, and it scared the shit out of me. Boomers are on a level of narcissism, on a level of delusion that it's truly unbelievable. Like, it can't possibly overstated. It goes beyond your wildest imagination. Your son killed himself because of ChatGPT. You fucking you write the obituary with ChatGPT? That's crazy, right? Yeah, the world's gone crazy, and there's really no hope for anyone. All right. Bye-bye, everybody. Find some joy out there. Have a nice week.
Oh yeah, all right, I'll happily fight. I'll do what must be done. Sacrifice myself if for must to protect what's good and kind. Cause I'm an ultra-fascist, and an ultra-fascist is what an ultra-fascist does. And what he does is lay down his life, protect all things adorable. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, there's nothing quite like ultra-fascism. Yeah, nothing can beat ultra-fascism. Yeah, oh yeah. What a wonderful life, what a blessing. Big thanks to ultra-fascism. Big thanks, alright. Big thanks, alright. Thanks, bigly ultra-fascism. Thanks, oh yeah.